So today I want to talk about divination, what it is, what it isn't, and how I use it in my work. Our mind uses knowledge that it has acquired from the experiences we've had, the things we've consciously gone about learning, and the insights that that journey has brought us. And that's why it is limited. When we come across a new experience with no previously familiar context, the mind has nothing to work with. It has nothing to base its evaluation upon. So the answers it tries to offer us when we ask, what should I do, or what is this? It has to be based on what it has known before. So it puts new experiences, new landscapes, new situations into a box. It tries to force it into a box that is formed of the things we've done and known before. When we look at the true, authentic creative process, whether it's in art or music or science or business, the truly inspirational new ideas, they always seem to come from somewhere else. They come from outside our past experience. That's how the first seeds are sown for what ends up creating a paradigm shift, a movement from where we have previously been and the path we've always walked to something completely new, which we couldn't foresee and didn't anticipate. That inspiration, that new creative seed, comes from somewhere outside our current system, our current context, our current knowing that our mind cultivates and holds. When we engage in the process of divination, we actively and consciously say, we would like to access information, wisdom, whatever it is we need from beyond where we've already been. We want to go behind the veil of our current experience. We want to literally enter into the great mystery where our mind cannot go. And from that place, from that unknown place, see if we can draw some insight, some understanding, some intuitive message that can then be used to guide us and inform us upon our deeper spiritual journey, which in the end will generally be illogical and irrational to our conscious mind. It is often during times of stress, confusion, uncertainty, when we feel we are stumbling around in the darkness and need some guidance that we cannot find within ourselves, that we seek to divine our way forward. We use some sort of divination tool to help us see what we have not yet seen and to know what it is we need to know in that dark, uncertain, perhaps confusing place. So I walked out into nature in an altered state. And on this particular day, this combination of my different states had rendered me vulnerable and very open to what the outer landscape had to say. I didn't consciously think of it in that way, but as I walked through that national park, feeling dark, depressed, anxious and despairing, when I looked around, I could feel, I could sense that there were things in that natural environment that had things to tell me if I was willing to listen. So I listened. These symbolic messages messengers became a bridge between my current reality and something else. It connected me with the great mystery, and it brought these two landscapes of my inner world and outer world together and showed me a different perspective that if I wished, I could use to now navigate through my physical landscape, my outer world. Suddenly, clarity emerged. New possibilities made themselves available to me. And intuitively, I knew what I had to do next. Where had this information come from? It wasn't from my mind. After my experience in the park, where the messengers of nature had genuinely spoken to me, I knew that it was important to be able to use that experience when I needed guidance in the future. I knew that I couldn't always go out into the park when I needed an answer to a question. So I thought there are tools that people use to bring that divinationary experience into a more practical context that fits with our 21st century lifestyle. Some people say it comes directly from God or Great Spirit. Others believe it is their guardian angels or their own spirit guides. For me, in the end, it doesn't matter what we believe is bringing us the guidance. Wherever the guidance is coming from, whatever the great mystery actually is, the wisdom that is available to me here flows through nature, its messengers, and the symbols of this landscape, which I use now in my readings to take this natural landscape into a setting that we can use for guidance when we can't be out here. And that's my medicine cards. It became really clear to me that if I was going to do divination as a practice, as part of my shamanic practice, I needed to use a tool that had come through me, that spoke to me directly, and that I had a really strong connection with. So I decided I would create a set of medicine cards, and the cards would have the symbols, the totems, the landscapes, the plants, the animals that lived in the landscape in which I lived. And so over time, the messengers and the totems and the guides that had something to say in the landscape in which I journeyed came forward and let me know that they needed a card in my medicine card deck. It became clear that the readings I was being called to do needed to occur as part of a ceremonial journey. So I painted an Australian dreaming wheel with houses that represented different aspects of our humanity, the elements, the seasons, the time of day, and many other aspects of the landscape through which we move. And that then became a fundamental way of connecting, again, even deeper with the divinationary process. My ancestry is Estonian, and much of my work now is with people who live in the Northern Hemisphere. So I have created a northern wheel, a northern medicine wheel, upon which I do readings for people who live in the north. And they have different messengers. The totems, the symbols, the landscapes, the plants, everything that emerges in a reading needs to be as personal as possible in order to allow the deepest connection with the great mystery. I know that if I am going to give my client, or the person that I'm doing the reading for, the most authentic reading I can, the most real representation of the story coming to them from the great mystery, I must speak whatever comes, even if I fear that they won't like it, or that it will upset them, or that they won't like me and never come back. It's not about keeping them happy, it's about the truth that comes through me now. If we really want authentic, real guidance through some form of divination, then we need to be willing to shut our mind down, not go in there with a question, seeking some guidance about a particular thing, but opening ourselves up to whatever comes. Because what we need to know, what we need to see, and that is sitting there in the great mystery waiting for us, might not be what we're thinking about or what we want to know. It might be something altogether different. If you are in a place yourself, a time in your life where you feel that a journey around the medicine wheel or the dreaming wheel and undertaking a process of divination might give you the guidance you need, one thing I offer through my work is a medicine card reading, which I film like this and then upload to YouTube and then forward a link to you, a private link that no one else can see, so you can take that journey yourself with me and be informed in a deeply personal and authentic way. The journey comes with an introduction that shows you the preparation I do ceremonially before I do each reading, and then the reading itself takes us around the wheel. We place a card in each of the 12 houses around the outside of the wheel, and then one in the center. The reading itself takes around about an hour or so, and it is very comprehensive and it is personalized. If you are interested in receiving such a reading, then you can make contact with me through the Way of Medicine Facebook page. You can personally message me through Messenger, and we can arrange to have that reading for you. Thank you for your support. Journey well.